Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with reTHINK Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 9. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at reTHINK Coaching, and I want to thank you for investing some time with me today. And in return, I promise to deliver great material for you and honor your time, which is our biggest asset that we have. So today I want to talk about 3 different things. I want to talk about how did you end up where you are, intuition and gut, and what's our way forward. And so let's start with something that has been coming up. It's been kind of a common theme in the conversations I'm having with people across the country that are reaching out for some coaching help. And they're making a statement to me of, I don't know how I ended up where I am, but it is not where I thought I would be. It's not where I would like to be. And it certainly isn't what I intended it to be. And I honor when somebody says that, because I know that the only reason they were able to get to that statement with me is because they've done some self-reflection, that they've taken a moment to really assess where they are and to acknowledge that they've maybe gone off course a little bit. And that takes courage. A lot of times it's brought on to us because something significant has happened. Our business has shifted. Things have slowed down. We're not hitting goals. We are no longer feeling satisfied by our jobs or our careers and our businesses that we own. So a lot of things can spark us to take pause and ask ourselves that question. Now, quite honestly, I could answer the question really simply, but it's very cold and harsh by simply saying you ended up where you are because of decisions that you made. And if you don't like where you are, hold the mirror up and ask yourself, how did we get here? Because it was because of a series of decisions that you made. Now, going back to the fact that sometimes we're making those decisions because we so badly want what's promised on the other side, the outcome, that we get blinded by all of the other warning signs that are there telling us maybe this isn't the right decision to make, but we make it anyway. Sometimes we're too far in to change course. We might be embarrassed if we have to end a partnership with somebody, or simply we don't have the energy to start over. So there's a lot of reasons why you are where you are, and it isn't where you want to be. And what I love is just the self-realization of that. So simply stated, it's because of the decisions you made. Now, I want to peel back the onion a little bit and say a lot of times you made the decision you made because you made those decisions out of logic and data and ignored your intuition or ignored your gut, that gut hit. I know we've all experienced this where we get a hit or a gut instinct or an intuition feeling saying, something about this doesn't feel right. I probably shouldn't do it. And then we turn to logic to help us logic our way to rationalize why we should do it. Again, that a lot of times that can happen is because we're so attached to the outcome when we so badly want the result that we're willing to ignore that gut hit. So we all have it, and it's just a matter of if you're going to honor it or not. So, a coaching friend asked me this. So a coach who I am friends with asked this question, how many times have you listened to your gut and made the decision based upon your gut and regretted that decision? Rarely, right? I've listened to my gut in several situations and made the decision based upon it just not feeling right. And then 30, 60, 90 days later, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I listened to my instinct, didn't do that, because it would have been an outcome that I wouldn't want. Now, on the other hand, how many times have we gone against that gut, leaned into logic, made a decision only to end up regretting that decision? That happens more than the other. If we're honest, a lot of times decisions that we regret, we'll say to ourselves, God, I knew it. I had a feeling about it. I was ignoring my gut instinct and I did it anyway. And then we end up regretting that decision. So gut instincts are really important, or your intuition is really important to add into this equation to get to where you want to be. Because when we ignore it, it usually does not serve us. Um, I share a personal story. I'm very transparent. About 5 years ago, I was making a decision to go into a coaching partnership with some folks. And logically, everything on paper made perfect sense and it was going to be amazing. And it was a great opportunity to have a bigger platform and what I thought to uh, collaborate with other people and reach more people. But my gut was screaming at me not to do it. And I didn't want to listen to it because I really wanted this other thing. Okay. And I was so blinded by what was possible that I ignored my gut. Well, 30, 60, 90 days into it, I realized I should have listened to my gut and it wasn't the right place for me to be. It just wasn't. And I had to make a decision. And I'm grateful for the skill set that I have. And I'm grateful for the coach that I had at the time that helped me work through this to take a step back and dissolve and walk away. And at that point, I was honoring my original gut instinct and realizing that the decision I made was not serving me. And it could have been disastrous. I mean, I could have fought it and stayed in it and been in this situation for, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, and been so deep into it, it would have been really hard to unwind. But I didn't. I listened pretty quickly, and that gut feeling never went away. From the moment it started telling me don't do it to the moment I was in it telling me I told you not to do it, it was there, and I'm grateful that I was able to finally honor it and undo it. It was the birth of reTHINK coaching. So listening to your gut's really important. And I laugh about it because nobody ever really teaches us about this. I mean, I went to business school, have a bachelor's degree in business admin, and I don't remember any class that said data is important, but a gut instinct is equally important. It's never talked about. We tend to turn to logic to make all decisions and ignore a really cool skill set that we all have as a human being, and that's our intuition or our gut instinct. So pay attention to those hits, pay attention to it. And how do you incorporate it into your business? I'll tell you, that was a huge lesson for me 5 years ago. Huge lesson for me 5 years ago. And this is key. I could have gotten really hung up on the fact that it was a bad decision and focused on everything that didn't go right and the damage that it caused. Instead, I chose to look at it and say, okay, what did I learn from the situation? Well, I learned to honor my gut. I learned to honor that voice that's telling you, caution, don't do this, don't do this. That was the big lesson that I learned. And I also learned that I have a strength that is unbelievable to have difficult conversations and to course correct and get back on track with who I am as a human being. And so those were the lessons. And I want to share it with you because we all have these moments that are going to come up. I think based upon where we are in the world right now and all the things that are happening, and let's be honest, when is it not like that? We tend to want to believe things and we'll gather and collect data to support making the decision to move forward and ignoring or pushing aside that intuitive feeling that we have, because you can make data be anything you want it to be. So how do you move forward and navigate in life with both logic and gut? I will tell you, for me personally and for the clients that I coach, if you're getting a hit or have a doubt or that voice that's telling you not sure if you should do something, I say hit the pause button immediately. Do not make a decision. The only decision you need to make is to pause and to just sit in and say, okay, what is it that I'm feeling resistance to? What is the feeling that I'm getting telling me not to move forward? And to sit with. And I would tell you to do is we're going to naturally go and collect some data to tell you every reason why you should. That's fine. Honor that, put it to the side. And I want you to sit with all of the reasons that you feel out of alignment or that your gut is telling you not to do something, and just pretend you ignored it and you made the decision to move forward, and project out 90 days from now and say, how am I going to be feeling? What is my reality going to be when I ignore this? And it can bring to light and shine a spotlight on what your resistance is to or what that gut is telling you. Because a lot of time, the idea isn't a bad idea. In its current state, it's not going to serve you at the highest level. So when you lean into gut instinct and data, you might be saying, you might have a hard no. It might be just like, absolutely not. That's never going to be who I am, and I'm not going there. Or it could be a no, not yet. I'm not quite there. Or it could be a no, but if we made a few tweaks, it could be a yes. And staying in that place without just making the decision based upon pure data is what's going to help you make better decisions to get to where you would like to be versus you saying, how did I end up here? I love the work of Caroline Myss. And one of the things she says that I love that really puts a bow on all of this is you're never on the wrong path in life. You just aren't managing it very well. And I love that because you got to where you were, not because you were on the wrong path, but you got to where you were because you weren't potentially managing your journey very well. And I personally believe when we're not managing our journey very well, that we are ignoring our intuition. We're ignoring the hits and we are attached to the outcome, or we are attached to the data that's all fingers point to yes, when in fact it doesn't, because you're not taking into account what you're resisting and what is making you want to say no. And so I do believe we're all on the right path. And there's different times where we're managing it at a really high level. And then there's times where we're just not. So if you ended up in a place where you're scratching your head saying, how the heck did I end up here? It's okay. It is a time for you to step back and reflect and to analyze and figure out, what am I going to do next? And how am I going to unpack this, or how am I going to massage this or change it a little bit so that it is more in alignment with my internal compass, and make it to where your gut isn't screaming at you to pay attention. That's my advice to you, is to listen and pay attention. If you need some guidance on this, we help clients with this often, or people that come to us often, to really dig down and figure out what it is specifically that would help them move forward in a way that would get them not only down their path, but managing their path at a really high level. So we're here to help you out in any way we can at reTHINK Coaching. So feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to ask a favor. If you found today helpful, I'm going to ask that you like it. Click the button that you like it and share this with others that you think need to hear this message. I think we're living in a time where things were so fast and furious for so long. A lot of us made decisions that got us to where we are that are not really where we wanted to be. And the message that people need to hear is it's okay. And how do we change that? And how to honor your gut instinct more often, or that intuition that we all have. So I appreciate you being here. Make a comment, like, share, come back and see us again. I appreciate you being here, and I cannot wait to see you next week. Take care. Talk to you soon. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.